So, Duke, thanks for being here. And
Mhm.
I must admit, I've been always an admirer of yours since the first time I heard of you through Gabriel. And yeah, I had the opportunity to meet you personally in London last year. And it has been quite a journey, I would say, since then. I opened up, spiritually wise. And yeah, I'm running channel on TikTok
Mhm.
about spiritual topics, about reincarnation, about all of the things which I would have never thought about or considered in the past, to be honest. So it all came to me. It's like I don't know, like it was inside of me. I would say. I mean,
Nice.
when you saw me or when we connected, what did you feel like? Did you think there was something when you saw me?
Yeah, to me, there's always something, there's always some reason. But I think what you've experienced, more and more people are being awoken, whether they like it or not, and more people, like I said, it's inside of us. Often people will say things like, "Oh, how do you know? How do you know this thing is true? Or how do you know that thing is true?" And who knows, maybe we'll find out all this stuff we believe in isn't true. But what is it right now is just driving you, and the things that are coming through, it's a feeling, it's a resonance that I don't know what this is, but this feels like truth. Let me explore this, let me move into this. And for me, what you've experienced the last year and many people around the globe, that's the difference. You look at a piece of information, or you look at something the media is saying, or you read something, or you watch a YouTube video. What is the thing that navigates you? It's that thing of, I don't know what this is, but this feels right. Let me go into it more.
Yeah. But would you say that we were all like spiritually awakened in this sense, or was it the spiritual awakening, or
Yeah, I'd say obviously what is happening on the planet right now, it's all the soul's journey, but everything that's happening on the planet now, whether you believe in the age of Aquarius or not, most people do, it is an acceleration. What can happen in 6 months internally, externally, positively and negatively, 100 years ago might have taken you a few years.
yeah,
Everything's accelerated.
yeah,
And wherever it is people believe we're headed, um, we're all part of that. And we're all on that ride, in my opinion. Even those who are numb to it on some level, they're noticing, they're like, hang on a minute, there's something going on, and we're all being kind of corralled towards that experience
yeah.
collectively and individually.
I feel for myself that I am here to elevate the human consciousness,
Hmm.
with the energy. But I'm not 100% sure if it's still, still accounts for me or for the collectiveness, as a group.
Yeah,
So,
I think collectively, where we are, we are the microcosm of the macrocosm. And on some level, I think we're all having our own individual
yeah,
game, our own individual experience, but at the same time, we can influence the collective experience, and the collective experience can influence us. And whether you want to believe there's 144,000 who are assigned to help raise the planet, or whatever you want to believe, for me, there are more and more people who are waking up, and more people who are feeling the call. And whether you go, okay, that's exactly what our soul signed up for before this lifetime, I believe it is, or whether it is just such a seismic change that people can't help but be influenced by it. To me, they're both one of the same.
mhm,
And there is so many different levels to the game. There's your own individual game, your own individual experience. That's why it's important to have fun while you move through this journey. But then also as well, there are different levels to the game. There's light versus dark. There's different alien races. There's different battles going on.
mhm.
Um, and it's nothing to get bogged down with. But if you feel the pull and you feel inspired to do certain things, in my experience, the more you do it, the more life will flow. And those different levels of the game, you will be helping certain factions and certain aspects of it.
Yeah. It's funny when I posted last year a video on TikTok about reincarnation,
Mm.
and it went really viral. So that's crazy. Only from that video, I got so many people listening up. But I think it's all meant to happen, no? Like a certain point, like
Yeah, and that's why for me it's like even the smallest little thing, you creating that video, what inspired you to create that video? You know, was you because you were connected, or was it that you also wanted to create that, and then because the experience goes with that, those other songs? To me, it's both, and that's why we're going to enjoy the journey the same, and we are having we are having experiences collectively. Um, yeah,
so,
and
so
as long as you keep listening to your soul,
mhm,
go with the ride, you will enjoy it and do what your soul wants to do.
mhm. Unfortunately, I didn't hear everything you said because the connection was not so good. But I think the main message you brought over, I think you answered it. So I think it's okay. I don't, because
Cool, cool.
I didn't hear everything, but I think the message got through. So that's the
I'll
most
say it again
important.
if you want. Yeah, it's saying yes. It's like for me when we get into the creation process, when you feel
Mhm.
inspired to do something. So when you felt inspired to get on TikTok, you just got inspired to do those videos.
Yeah.
Is it your soul wanting to have that experience, or is it some different levels of the game, the White Brotherhood, or the Galactic Council, or God Himself, herself, itself, whatever you believe in, the angels, your higher self saying, "Cool, let's create this," or is it those souls want to have a certain experience, a certain message, have literally put out some energetic call that because you're connected, you feel, you respond to? Or did you all agree all these different, it's like computer program, right? It's like if statements. If this happens, then this. If this happens, then this. Maybe you and all those souls who responded before you incarnated agreed, hey, by the way, on this date at this time, it'd be amazing if you could release this video. And you're like, cool, yep, I'll do that. Or are all those things true because time doesn't exist and they're all happening at the same time anyway? So for me, it's all a constant flow. And if you can just listen to your soul, take action, inspiration with the things that come through, you'll be part of that process and you'll be in that flow. And then really it's about enjoying it. And you can have free will, but to me, in any given moment, if you can choose soul driven, destiny driven,
Yeah.
whatever the symbiotic ascribed meanings you want to put on it, we're gonna end up exactly where we're supposed to go. And for me, if there is a game of dark versus light, it's just when people follow inspired to put a video on TikTok and they let the fear get better of them.
Mm.
But I have to say, in my experience, in my belief, maybe I have a very positive attitude. I believe if you're really supposed to do something, your soul is going to squeeze you and make you do it. You
Mm.
know, it's going to make things around you come down. It's going to make you feel bad. It's going to do what it can to pull rank and make
Yeah.
sure you do something. So,
Yeah, but we all have soul contracts now also at the end. So we assigned to something to go through. We all go through different lessons, and we have also karmic stuff from past lives, which we take with us. So do you think that also regarding the karmic lessons, uh, can you all in this lifetime, can you get rid of them, all of them, if you do it right, or will it go?
well, even that ascribed meaning that we've got karmic contracts and we've got soul contracts. Here's the thing, right? If time doesn't exist, and if you are, or beyond 60 anyway, it doesn't really exist. If you believe we're a soul having a human experience, and you believe we're a spark of source, spark of universe, and source universe is never expanding, right? It's always expanding, right?
Mm,
So that means there is no end game. You could do everything perfectly in this lifetime, and there'll always be an extension. You know what I mean?
okay.
There'll always be ever expanding. So there's no gets in this lifetime and complete the lifetime. You
Yeah.
only get as far as you get.
Mm,
And if time doesn't exist and our higher selves are moving things around, working with the angels and different beings to kind of cultivate the best experience in any given moment, whether you choose free will or alignment, your higher self, your support network, your support team, and then
mm,
moving things around, trying to create an opportunity to have that experience again. So for me, it's not a finite, this exact contract, this exact experience. I think it's a lot of potentialities and it's more themes and experiences that our soul has wanted to experience. And
mm,
I give a perfect example of this. Let's just say you wanted to have the experience of adoration. You know, you in this lifetime, you wanted to be revered on a very egoic level. You wanted people to look up to you and revere you and go, oh my God, this person's amazing. And let's just say as a soul, you look down on earth and you're like, awesome, I'm going to be a famous actor. That is the experience I want to have. It could be that things go wrong in that lifetime, so to speak, and then your soul actually goes, actually, there's a better route. I'm not going to be an actor anymore. I'm going to be a famous musician. And you go that route. Or it could be that you still stick to being an actor,
mm,
and it could be, I don't know, I'm just picking out some really old films now, but let's just say it could be, you know, you get an Oscar for one film or you
mm,
get an Academy Award for another film. Your
yeah,
soul doesn't care. Your soul just wants to have that experience. It wants to live out that theme of being adored and revered. In any given moment, there's a potentiality which is unraveling rather than an exact, to me anyway, an exact, this is an exact contract you have to hit. And I do
yeah,
believe there are certain destiny points where our soul can kind of pull rank. We're like, no, this is what I really want you to experience. Like for me, creating EH, you
mm,
know, I can't really, when I look at my life, no matter how my life would have gone, I think I'll still end up creating EH. Um, and to me, that's like a major destiny point that in this lifetime, my soul wanted to create that and facilitate others on the journey, etc., etc.
mm,
Um, but you know, again, maybe not. Maybe actually, if I'd gone a completely different route, I would have just helped others come back to themselves, back to love, back to source in another way.
yeah,
You know, so for me, it's a lot of potentialities in any given moment, but it's more important about the themes and experiences
mm,
rather than the exact. This is what you're going to do.
yeah. But we also live in different dimensions. No, we have all of these possibilities going on in other dimensions. No, so if you would
Mhm.
decide to go this
Exactly.
way, then in another dimension you would have gone another way. No, so there are
Exactly,
different
exactly. There's so many
possibilities.
different parallel versions of you, and one would, you know, one could say this spark of consciousness, which is aware of we're having this conversation right now. There's another spark of consciousness going a different route and playing out all these different scenarios all at the same time, creating millions and millions and millions of different versions of you, probably billions. Yeah, there is that argument as well. But that's why, you know, you just got to come back to yourself and go, cool. What's important in this lifetime? Enjoying myself, being in flow,
Mm,
you know, for me, creation, but whatever, you know, whatever your thing is,
yeah,
whatever, you know, and for me, if you're in line with your soul and that spark of you, whatever it wants to experience, you'll be happy.
yeah. You know, actually, we have almost a similar path. Like you dealt with real estate, no, in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and I also dealt with real estate. And I realized from one point, okay, it was my ego. You know, I wanted to do big business, you know, money and stuff. But then I realized that's not the point. You know, you close one deal, and then nothing happens because your higher self is telling you, hey, you didn't get the point here. You have to go through all of these lessons, so you get back to zero. You know, so I mean, from your own experience, when you have done the business in real estate, you realize that wasn't it, no, in the past.
Yeah, I realized, and this is the thing, you know, depending on your journey, everyone's on a different journey. Some people's journey is just they just want to live a very mental game, or they just want to make loads of money or have an egoic experience. That's some people's journey. But for me, with the property stuff, I realized after a few years that really subconsciously, secretly, I wanted to buy properties and succeed in property to get my parents' acknowledgement. You know,
Mhm.
for them, for me to feel that they love me, they're proud of me, and on some level, I've made that decision as a kid, seeing them fail to succeed in property, that if I succeed in that, they'll be proud of me, they'll acknowledge me, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
And but what was happening was certain things weren't flowing. You know,
Mhm.
things I like a lot of property deals in a very short space of time crash and you know losing loads of money and you know a lot of extrinsic factors and I was literally just this isn't making sense. I'm working myself, I'm doing everything right, and I had friends and we
Mhm.
were, you know, some of them was out working them. And of course, we got our programs. Everyone has their pros and cons of what they and their strengths. But I was literally looking at it and going, something is amiss here. There is something, you know, beyond me which is causing these things to fail. And I still managed to buy plenty of properties, but in that moment, it was really squeezing me. And it was like I said, my soul saying, "No, this isn't your purpose." And if my soul wanted to have that experience of being some property mogul, it would have gone that route. But instead, it like I said, in a very short space of time, a lot of property deals fell through. I lost a lot of money, and a lot of things went wrong, and it squeezed me to asking better questions of myself. And like I said, I realized, oh, actually, I'm buying this for the wrong reason. And then literally overnight, I was like, okay, cool. I realized that, and I closed it all down and started the next endeavor.
Yeah. But was it hard for your ego to let go of that, or was it the
To
process?
be honest with you, I think I was pretty done with property about that point. I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie. In a very short space of time, I was like, I think to be honest with you, as soon as I got the realization, I remember chatting to my friend who was very successful in property. We started the same time. I remember just saying to him like, I don't even like property. I hate doing the tenancy stuff. I hate how many people are involved. I was like, I don't even like it, and it just came really really clear in that moment once I'd acknowledged the program. So to be honest, it's very easy for me just to go, yeah, do you know what? This is done. This is done. I'm moving on
Mm.
to the next thing.
Yeah. But it was a process, no? It took you some time. It didn't happen from one day to
Yeah, well,
another, no?
I didn't know what I know now, and
Mm.
I wasn't, wasn't any kind of world for me to realize these things. This is very much, to be honest, was when my daughter came along. In a 10-month period, I had one major business fall, like fail and crash, and then all these property deals, I think it was about 15 property deals overnight just crashed, and three
Mm.
different companies, one person, two different companies, loads of things went wrong. Some
Mm.
guy ripped me off a load of money, and then
Mm.
my daughter within 10 months, and then my daughter's mum was pregnant. All this
Mm.
within 10 months. I'm like, something's amiss here. But I didn't really, have anyone to guide me. But I
Mm.
just, when it all came crashing down, and to be honest with you, my daughter was my awakening, where I realized just how numb I was and how much I couldn't feel.
Mm.
That I was really, without realizing, following my gut, following my soul, and asking questions, and really kind of like, this isn't working for me.
Yeah.
It was I'd worked so hard. I think probably for about 4 or 5 years, I'd slept maybe 3, 4 hours a night. I'd really was
Okay.
burning the candle at both ends, and I have it all crashing down. I
Yeah.
was just like, no, I'm doing something wrong. Something has to change.
Mm. So would you say that your daughter came at the right point? I
Oh
mean, from
yeah,
the start.
like even that, this is the thing for me when soul wants something to happen.
Mm.
Me and my daughter's mum were never really together. I mean, for a very, very short space of time. And she went back, she was from another country.
Mm.
And so she was very kind of like didn't see her and whatever else. And and yeah, she came back to this country and we were both agreed that she was gonna have an abortion. We're like, well, look, we're never gonna see each other, we're not together. And, it's not cool, but it's very early in the pregnancy. It's like the first, month. And we went to an abortion clinic, and this is an NHS abortion clinic. And as soon as we
Mm.
walked through the door, the nurse literally almost like handled me and was like, you get in that corner, and turned to my daughter's mum. And she was like, this is a beautiful gift. Having a child is a very special thing. And I was literally sat there like, what
Okay.
the hell? And this is an abortion clinic, an NHS abortion clinic. Now I know, well, look, it was divinely orchestrated. My daughter's mum left that meeting
Mm.
resolute that she was going to have the baby no matter what.
Mm.
And she basically kind of just left. And I didn't speak to her, didn't know anything, didn't know where she was, nothing. She just kind of fled. Not that I was resolute that she had to have the abortion. I was
Mm.
still just kind of shocked. You're young, you're kind of numb. But when I look back, I'm like, how beautifully orchestrated that someone who's literally supposed to guide someone literally was pro having a baby. It's
Mm.
crazy.
Yeah.
But that's, when soul spirit really wants something to push through,
Mhm.
it's gonna pull rank in
Okay.
my view.
Yeah. Yeah. But would you say that, for example, now taking your daughter, that she is from the same soul group that you had past lives? Maybe she was a
I mean,
sister. Or,
this idea of soul groups, I mean, where do you draw the line? Because to me, I think, and I have seen when I've gone up, I've seen soul groups, and then we're interacting with other soul groups. But I would say yes as an immediate instant, but I still think it's a heavily ascribed meaning. You know what I mean?
mm,
We're all one at some level anyway, and the further up you go, the less separation there is.
yeah.
But yeah, she's definitely um yeah, divine, and yeah, she's gonna be. I can't wait to be honest with you when she gets older. She's gonna be
Okay.
very special.
Funny when we just got into the conversation before you came online, I got this as a gift here.
Hmm.
This pendulum.
Hmm.
And I tried it out. I found out that I can really connect with that because it gives me answers.
Hmm.
And I asked, for example, are you from, let's say, from my soul group, or are we connected? And
Hmm.
it answered me yes. Like it gave me an answer. What's
Nice.
your take about the pendulum? Is it a connection with the higher self, would you say?
I think with the pendulum, it can be very easy for external energies to influence it, and it can be very easy for your own ego to influence it.
Mhm.
But yeah, of course, it exists and it's real. If someone can be really, it's the same. It's the same with tarot and angel readings.
Okay.
When if ever you've had I've got quite a few friends who do readings, and because they know me, it can sometimes, not all of them, but some of them sometimes struggle to be impartial because at some level they've got a vested ego. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So, but then even when I've seen people use pendants and completely get thwarted by their ego, there's always been a lesson. It's always taken them somewhere they needed to go. So
yeah, yeah. That's true.
yeah.
But it's connected with your energy, actually, no?
Yeah, of
So
course. Yeah, it's
so
in terms of is it a thing? Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
Like it's fascinating as well. Even when I was a kid, my dad would make metal detectors using like the divination process. And I don't know how he did it, but he literally made this twig that
Mhm.
could literally pick up metals in the ground.
Okay.
Kind of, so it's all out there. It's just for me, it's almost the question of what isn't real. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? There's so many things that in the mainstream people don't think are real that
Mhm.
actually are, but maybe for them it'll never be real.
Yeah.
Maybe the game they're in, the individual game they're in, it will never
Yeah.
be real, you know?
Yeah. That's true. I must say, for me, actually, last year when this whole thing started with the COVID, it was actually a blessing because I always, like you, like to travel around, go there and here, but I was like, I cannot go anywhere, so I had to focus on me, and I had to focus, like, what will I do now? And as soon as I realized I have a mission or a purpose, doing this podcast, for example, or doing this video, going into nature, because when I'm in nature in the forest, I feel connected.
Mm.
I feel like I feel more connected in this sense. And it really, for me, it was a blessing, this whole thing, this whole COVID thing. But many people are living in fear, not realizing that they have all of this, their gifts inside of them. No? If they would realize that, then we all would be free, actually. No?
But
How do
again,
you
I
see
think
that?
it's a dichotomy in different souls' journeys. I think there's a dichotomy on one level, there's more and more people going into the fear, and you know, one ascribed meaning is that on this planet there's going to be more and more people that become less and less aware. More engrossed in their phones, more indoctrinated by the system, more zombified, and there's going to be more and more people waking up more and more and more, and then almost become this split.
Mm.
And but for me, I think it's at the same time, there's more people waking up, and even the people who are zombified, the more of us that can wake up, they should get pulled up. They should get pulled up energetically and realize more things.
Yeah.
And of course, some people would describe the meaning that COVID was, let's just say, the firm, the elite, the families, whatever you want to call it, those who control this planet and beyond, last ditch effort to try and control everything else. But again, everything's a microcosm. Macrocosm, whatever's going on out there is always going to be some reflection in yourself. And as you
Mm.
said, so many people have made COVID into a positive. And even for myself, I have to say, the first 4 months of COVID, I was like, actually, I'm getting more done not traveling around all the time. So there's always positives. There's always positives.
Yeah, but what's your take for the future? Are we being taken care, like from the spiritual side?
I mean, I don't know if I just have a false positive belief, but I really do feel we are being corralled towards a mass awakening in a positive way,
Mhm.
and Mother Earth is ascending, and whatever they try and do, should we say, whatever, whoever, whatever, however you want to see it, whatever controls or fear measures get put in place, I really just believe we will break through it. And yeah, I just believe that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I find yeah, I don't feel the fear. I just, and at the end of the day, I think, without sounding slightly sadistic, I think if you're afraid of dying, if you don't believe in something beyond this lifetime, all those connotations, it
Mm.
might feel a bit scary sometimes. If you believe what you hear in the news, it might feel scary sometimes. But if you really just really do trust your soul having a human experience, and it is about the experience, and at the same time, we are part of a game of raising humanity,
Mm.
um, and you're willing to do whatever it takes and stick to your truths and be visible and be vulnerable and be courageous. If you believe in all that, what have you got to be afraid of? And if ever
Yeah.
you just find yourself stuck in that fear, you're just caught in the humanness, and it's just to breathe, step out of it, and go like, what part of my fear and ego and control has bought into some story, and what part of my beliefs are being tested? I'm not able to let this story go. And as soon as you catch yourself and you just step back into, oh yeah, this is who I really am,
Mm.
there's nothing to be afraid of,
Yeah.
whatever happens.
Yeah. But what's your take with the third dimension and fifth dimension? Does it
I
have to do
mean,
something with that, or?
yeah, there are some people who are ascribing the meaning that there'll be a split. Some people will go into a more severe 3D, and some people go into a 5D. Personally, I don't see it that black and white. I do
Mhm.
think the planet is ascending, but I feel the idea of it going into 5D, I don't think it's going to happen overnight. And a lot of us live in, have 5D living a lot of the time anyway. It's not like it's all of a sudden we have this sudden jump. It's about any given moment, more and more come into that place.
Mhm.
Um, and there are plenty of people on this planet already there. Those who manifest more instantly, negatively and positively, without them even realizing. More and more people who are on the spectrum, more and more people who are gifted, are already in that place. I, for one, I definitely know. Um, with some of the things I can do. I mean, I haven't. I'm going to get like officially tested, but I definitely know my brain waves are on a different frequency more often than the average, because when I tune into certain things and visualize certain things and connect with certain things, um, there's a level of connection and expansion um, that isn't in alignment with the common narrative and what people say you need and where people say you need to go. I could just kind of get there straight away, but with that comes um, a level of awareness that
Mhm.
you are going to manifest more instantly. And I think a lot of people are in that zone and don't even realize. And their
Yeah.
life might be completely messed up right now, and they're not realizing, actually, if they were to truly get centered and connected and attuned to themselves, that they could change it really, really quickly. And yes, there might be fears and programs and patterns in the way, but they don't realize how powerful they are. And I
Mhm.
think there's more and more people on this planet who need to have that realization.
Mhm.
And in terms of and I think it's a lot about that individual experience, rather than all of a sudden we're going to be beings of light,
Mhm.
overnight or in the next 50 years.
Okay.
Personally.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, most of my followers on TikTok, because I can see the statistics, are females, like 80, 90%. Does it have to do something with the masculine and feminine energy, or
Yeah,
how
well,
is that?
obviously, the current cycle we're in, which is nearly at an end, since the precession of the equinox, we've been in a patriarchal system. The feminine phase is coming, which is why so many more women are into this work. The
Mhm.
feminine energy and love is what the planet needs to help the planet ascend and help us ascend as a race. So we are in that cycle, and that's why for me there's so many more women into this stuff.
Mhm.
um and but also men as well. A lot of the men in this game of spiritual development, personal development, have been in their feminine, and are kind of rediscovering their masculinity, so they're kind of in tune and connected with that as well. But yeah, to me it's just a phase, it's just a
Mhm.
cycle. And then, depending on your belief, some people would believe that at the end of the next cycle, then it'll be too feminine,
Mhm.
and then things will fall apart like it did in Atlantis, and we'll go into another patriarchal cycle.
Okay.
Everyone has a different opinion.
Yeah, but do you think there's going to be a shift also from energy wise, like
Yeah,
masculine?
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think in the next lifetime or two. I mean,
Mhm.
some would say 2080 is the kind of real big tipping point, that how the planet is currently controlled, those who control it are afraid of meeting. And yeah, we are due a polar shift.
Mhm.
You know,
Okay.
technically, we are due a big shift. We are due. You know, we're obviously in it, depending on your opinion, in the age of Aquarius right now, and yeah, there's not long to go. There's not long
Mhm.
to go before the next phase. But I feel as we go into that phase, there will be, I don't know, I liken it like an equilibrium of some script. You know, there'll be
Okay.
an equilibrium for a little bit, and then one could say the cycle would start again, but then this time getting too feminine. You know,
Okay.
just the way we've been a patriarchal
Yeah.
cycle, and it's gone obviously too masculine and the dark
Mm.
aspects of masculinity. So
Yeah. So you would say that the Aquarius age has an effect on this
yeah,
human.
it's got an effect, and so be it that
Mm.
with the Aquarius energy, um, systems, corporations, governments, hierarchies dismantle, and people recognize and realize their personal power. You know, it's all
Mhm.
like what of the Aquarian energy is. So to me, it is just part of that.
Yeah.
However long you think we're in it, or how long it's going to last,
Mhm.
to me, yeah, that is just everyone look around. This is clear to see. And
Mhm.
2020 for a lot of people obviously was the kind of real signifier of like, yeah, we are definitely in the Aquarian age now.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, to me, it's just you just got to enjoy the ride.
Yeah, that's true. Can I ask you, when I just found out recently, when I looked here on my body, on my left or
Mm,
right side, I don't remember,
mm,
I have some, I have many, how you call it, spots,
mhm,
you know, and here I have like a star sign from
mhm,
Taurus, because I'm
mhm,
Taurus from sign. And
mhm.
then I looked into that on Google, and then I found out that it has to do with Pleiadians and all of that. What's your take with this Pleiadians and Arcturians?
Yeah, for me, again, it's just one level again. Some people get caught up in like, I'm Palladian, or I'm from Andromeda, or I'm from Orion. Or for me, there's different levels. There is a level of the Galactic Council and Archons, Draconian kind of races
Mhm.
versus the Palladians, versus different human beings and reptilians from Orion.
Yeah.
There's that level of the game, and then
Mhm.
you've got then you've just got the overall game of like dark versus light. And some people would say, um, and then I kind of say, that game of like the Galactic Council kind of battle versus what the White Brotherhood are here to do
Yeah.
versus demons and angels. There's all these different levels, and they
Mhm.
all interact. But they are just different aspects of the game. And like I said, we have many different versions of this in different planes of reality in different dimensions. And for me, the danger is when people get caught up with, oh, I'm this. You're that, but you're also many things.
Mhm.
What people like, oh, I was Jesus. Yeah, maybe it's a blueprint. Maybe you
Okay.
are the exact reincarnation. Maybe you're just supposed to believe that so you learn to let go of that attachment.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? It's all, what I mean? It's all for me.
Mhm.
There are so many aspects of ourselves that we can connect to. It's just
Mhm.
important, like, okay, who I am in this lifetime.
Yeah.
And, we can, of course, have very clear memories. Even when I was a kid, I'd have a lot of past life memories and dreams. I
Mhm.
have very clear memories of the lifetime before this and lifetime before that. I have very clear memories. And there is a certain game that I'm playing out within even some of those lifetimes together. But
Mhm.
there's always a level above that, and there's always a
Okay.
level above that.
Yeah.
And one of the classic ones for me, one of my big learnings many years ago, baby Duke years, there was a girl that I was struggling to let go of,
Mhm.
and we were very much in love, and we were very push pull, very couldn't live with each other, but couldn't live with that. Really really struggled. And one day, I was just like, I don't know what, I just went up, and I went up and I saw us at a certain level making the contract in this lifetime to be together.
Mhm.
And I went up another level and I saw us making the agreement that on the level down, we would then make the contract, and then we'd keep making that contract, thinking it was in our best interest. And then when I
Okay.
went to the higher level and
Mhm.
cleared the original point of creation, the experience in this lifetime then just dissolved. So it's like we've been playing out that contract lifetime after lifetime after lifetime,
Mhm.
yes, from this higher plane, but actually that contract in that plane was made in an even higher plane. And when do you
Okay.
know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So it's when people get so caught up in like, this is my twin flame. What about the level above? What about the different lifetime? What about in the past life? Was someone else your twin flame? Is this
Mhm.
person always your twin flame? Do you know what I mean? It's all an ascribed meaning. And maybe
Mm.
every meaning we have ascribed is complete BS and we're completely wrong. And we're right now, who knows? Maybe right now we are completely in a prison planet, having our souls just reharvested over and over and over and over for some grey
Mm.
agenda.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like where do you draw the line? You know, and that's why I think you got to enjoy the ride.
yeah.
And of course, we have certain resonance and certain things we see and certain things we feel, which makes us believe certain things. But to
Hmm.
get caught up in any one idea, oh, it's dangerous.
Hmm.
But you know, as soon as you find you're getting attached, well, there's always something beyond that. There's always, the universe is ever expanding. No one knows 100%. No
Mm.
one.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is or what they say. No one knows 100% what's going to happen.
Hmm.
Exactly every step of the game. No one
Yeah,
knows 100%.
yeah. But I mean, past lives doesn't have to be here on Earth, no? It
No,
can be
exactly. No,
also
of course not.
on other planets, or
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that has. I mean, for most of us, we know that we had past lives on Earth because, like, we could have been in ancient Egypt or ancient Greece, or when you feel attracted to some places, it's because you had some past life,
Yeah.
there. So when you look at it from that side, you know that you were there. If you can feel that from your gut feeling or intuition.
Mhm.
And I mean, if I see it from my past lives, I mean, I cannot remember much, but I have done past life regressions. But it has a reason why you cannot remember it. No, I mean, you can do that. There are people who can do that, but for me, it's a bit difficult to do that.
I mean, yeah, there's some that I just remember because I remember, but most has been I've had crazy re-remembrance experiences.
Mhm.
It's not like from like the age of like 20 onwards, I can just remember all these lifetimes. You know, most of them have been as I've navigated this journey and clarity has come through, the memories have come through, And again, it could be completely falsified, completely made up, but you know, in some of those experiences, I've experienced things which I believe to be true, because for example, I remember one past life that I remembered, which was particularly beyond my belief system, should we say. I was literally like vibrate. I was lying on the ground and I was literally vibrating so much. I was like lifting off the ground. I was just vibrating and it was quite uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. It
Mm.
was so strong.
Okay.
And just that experience, it was so intense. It was so intense. And the things I was kind of getting, it just felt so clear. And for me, there isn't, even when you kind of look into the chemicals that have been released by the brain, it's such a very hard thing to fathom, to be put down just a coincidence or, do you know what I mean? And for me, it's like when you've assimilated
Mhm.
enough of those experiences, you build a baseline of like,
Yeah.
this is what I believe to be true.
But does it have a reason that most of us cannot remember past lives, so we don't get into that too much? Or I mean,
Yeah, of course. If you remembered all your past lives, it would be completely overwhelming. You wouldn't be able to be present.
yeah,
Even like how many of us can remember day by day? What did you have 3 weeks ago Tuesday morning for breakfast? You can't
yeah,
remember. If we could remember all these things, it'd be completely overwhelming. Never mind past lives, and if we can remember past lives, what we're going to remember future life, we wouldn't. We would just completely dissolve. We would be completely overwhelmed. And obviously, some people have that experience,
yeah,
and a lot of them end up in psychiatric wards until they can
yeah,
um, reel it in.
yeah. But I mean, children up to 5 or 6 years old can even remember past lives.
Yeah, and
That's
like I said,
that's
I
proven.
remember remembering past lives a lot when I was a kid, not realizing they were past lives.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
I do remember that quite a bit. But of course, we're still our ego is still bedding in. So
Mm.
we're still going to be connected to our soul a lot more.
Mm.
All the memories we need are held in our DNA. We can access them anytime, but it's just layers, and
Yeah.
everything we've built up in our life as
Mm.
we unpeel them. But again, it's a non-stop journey. It's ever expanding, and we'll uncover whatever's supposed to uncover. And if you haven't uncovered that many past lives, just not meant to yet. It's cool.
Mm. What's your take, for example, with drugs like DMT or ayahuasca? I mean, they're natural drugs, plant.
Mhm,
They can help elevate open your mind.
mhm.
do you think that's a good thing? I mean, for someone who wants to find out about their past or whatever.
No, I think if you feel the pull, if you feel the pull, if serendipitous things happen. Like, I remember the first time I took ayahuasca,
Mm.
I never felt the pull, wasn't interested. And then in the same week, it had popped up in about six different places, culminating with my friend on the Friday saying, G, what are you doing this weekend? You don't fancy taking ayahuasca with me, G? And I was just like, okay, the signs have been ridiculous.
Okay.
Um, but there was also on the other side, you get a lot of people who get caught up in doing ayahuasca all the time and they're not doing the inner work. They're not integrating. They just get shown the same stuff all the time.
Okay.
I'm personally now at the place where I don't, I mean, I touch wood. I don't think I'm going to do plant medicine or any kind of drug for a long time, to be honest. It's just, I just got to that place where the message has been quite clear. Just don't really need it. It's almost like when you do plant medicine, you can get a big hit.
Mhm.
But for me, I'm almost like, I would have just got there anyway, bit by bit. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
Ah,
but again, there
you.
was times I felt the
Okay.
pull. Go
But
on.
you want to say that it helps elevate faster the process if you
Yeah,
take
to me, it
this.
can be a good hit. It can be a good impactful infusion, but also as well, for me, I feel blessed that I'd already got to a very good level of awareness before I took any drugs or plant medicine.
Mm.
Because I think a lot of people, I definitely wouldn't have wanted to have done it in the beginning of my journey. No way. Because for me now, the way I can navigate anyway, when I'm doing plant medicine, I can just navigate everything so quickly and I can get so much out of it. 7 years ago, I would not have given me the do plant medicine then. Personally, it just, I would have got a good hit. I would have got some stuff cool, but I wouldn't have got anywhere near as much out of it as what I do now. And
Okay.
and that's just my personal opinion. But
Yeah.
again, if you feel the pull, if
Mhm.
you feel the pull, go
Yeah.
for it. And even people I know who felt the pull, they've taken ayahuasca and they've had a harrowing experience that they've struggled to overcome for maybe up to a year, still clearing through the stuff that came up.
Mhm.
Maybe that's the exact experience they're supposed to have.
Mhm.
I definitely know some of my encounters with dark energy on different plant medicine
Yeah.
was a lot, but it's exactly the experience you're supposed to have. Otherwise, I wouldn't have felt the inspiration. So, for me, if you feel the pull, follow the pull with as much awareness as possible.
Yeah.
And, for me, I have a bias, find a shaman who's self aware.
Mhm.
Some of them really aren't. They're just good with the plant. They're not very good at the aftercare or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? It's,
Yeah.
what I mean? Everyone's got their own journey, but if you feel the pull, you know, follow it.
The good thing is I was born in Peru, so I go in the Amazonas, I find the shaman.
Yeah.
I in the past I hadn't had this, feeling, to do that. But now I think because I'm on a spiritual journey, if I don't do it myself, maybe I need some help to do that,
Mm.
to so I think it can help. But if my higher self or if my soul wants to have it, this experience, then I think I will get pulled to that into that direction, So
Yeah. And what I experience now is very interesting. The last couple of years, when I feel the pull to take drugs or do plant medicine, as if I hold off for 3 or 4 days, I end up having a psychedelic experience without anything in my system. So again, it just shows you if it was something I was really supposed to get, I get pushed to that place anyway. So again, follow the pull, be present, notice what you notice. And if anyone, if anyone listening has never done holotropic breath work, start there, do some mushrooms, um, do some kind of lighter plants before moving to things like ayahuasca, just so you can get more confident
you
and get
you,
better at the
you
ceremony and the
yeah.
processes.
You mean magic mushroom or what?
Yeah, magic mushrooms. Yeah, start there, and if
Okay.
get used to kind of the smaller stuff,
Mm.
and work your way up in, just kind of, even not even just having a plant in your body, but with the process, with
Yeah.
the ceremonious aspect to it, with the honoring, with being present, knowing that you'll have a load of intentions, you might get taken a completely different place, all that kind of stuff. It
Mhm.
helps to kind of get you ready for kind of going for the heavier stuff.
Yeah, because ayahuasca is really heavy. I think it's a
Yeah, it can
it's
be.
a
Yeah, it can be. Sometimes you'll have a light experience.
Mhm.
Sometimes it'll be super heavy. It's
Yeah.
different every time.
It depends on the dose. if you
Yeah,
put too much
yeah,
then
but it depends on the dose, depends on the mixture, depends on the shaman, depends on even for me, I've taken it plenty of times on my own. Um, I could have like the tiniest sip, have a really, really intense experience. I can drink
okay.
quite a bit, quite light. Do you know what I mean? If you're supposed to go somewhere, you'll go somewhere.
Yeah, true. But what's your take of, for example, with astral traveling?
Hmm.
Because I heard a lot about that. You know, there are people who can, like, when you're dreaming, you're astral traveling. No, can you do that in a conscious state, like when you are awake to astral travel? Is that possible also without
Um,
taking drugs, for example?
yeah. I mean, yeah. I do know people who are a lot more proficient at it than me, but generally speaking, if you're new to astral traveling, doing it when you're asleep or when you've just woken up or you're just about to go to bed, but when you've just got woken up, is really really easy to do it. But yeah, there's different workshops out there, and they'll some of the best ones are when you do like a weekend, and then under their schedule they're getting you into the states
Mm,
to actually project. But again, it's some people it comes really naturally. Some people they have to work at it, like
okay,
practice it over and over. To be honest with you, I'm intermittent. I'm not brilliant at it. When I really need to go somewhere, I'll be conscious and I will actually travel. But it's not something I can just do just like that every day.
okay,
And it's nothing I've really practiced too much, to be honest.
yeah,
Um, but it's yeah, again, it's real, it exists. And even recently Netflix did a mini series, a limited series,
hmm,
and Behind Her Eyes, I think it was called. And
yeah.
that they cover astral travel,
Oh,
astral
really? I wanted
travel.
to watch that one. I didn't manage to
Yeah,
watch it.
which is amazing. It just shows you
Hmm.
things are moving, things are changing. For them to even have that in the kind of like mainstream kind of show on Netflix, so yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, interesting. But I remember you offered also how you call it, sessions, not sessions, but group gatherings,
Mhm.
like in London. What happened now with the COVID? I mean, you cannot do that. But are you planning to do that this year again? When?
Um, maybe, but to be honest, with you, I think we're probably just going to do behind closed doors
Mhm.
members events. To be honest, because we've now got because of COVID, we've got hundreds of members who've never met each other.
Okay.
So the idea of putting on public events, I don't know about you, but I don't think we're going to be out of COVID for long. I think, it'll be a few months maybe. And then all of a sudden they'll say, now the outbreaks have gone up. We need to go in lockdown again. I think it's going to be like this for quite a few years, intermittently.
Mhm.
So I don't have any plans to do public events.
Okay.
Our online courses, and to be honest, you don't know our online stuff. To me, is our courses were always online and they're really powerful. We just did the events because people like to connect.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'll probably just do some quiet kind of behind closed doors members events.
Okay.
And yeah, it's definitely, yes, it is a new world. It is a new
Mhm.
world.
So you interesting? You just mentioned that you think it will take much longer than what till
Yeah,
we?
I mean, I'm completely open to being wrong. Obviously, I
Mm.
think it's going to be at least another few years, at least, of intermittent lockdowns, at
Yeah,
least in
but
this country. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, but I think people will not handle that anymore psychologically. There will be
I don't know.
much.
I don't know. Again, and who knows? Maybe they'll bring out another virus, a new one, and
Yeah, but
improve.
they're coming already out with mutations from South
Yeah,
Africa. From I don't know
it's,
what.
it's it's hard to know. I mean, it does seem unfathomable that people would put up with it, but at the same time, maybe they will just push and test as much as they can how much they can control people.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what they'll do. Who knows? Who knows?
would
Or
they?
maybe
Mhm,
give them enough of a break that
mhm,
people kind of feel like, oh yeah, this is okay, and then they're like, oh yeah, we have to really go in lockdown. People will accept it more.
mhm.
Who knows? Who
Like
knows?
they did it in summer last year. Same
Yeah,
thing, you know.
exactly. Same thing. Yeah, same thing. Same thing this year.
Yeah.
100%. That's my opinion, but I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to think people are more aware than that, but I doubt it. I doubt it. So we'll see.
Or they just gonna be all V. I'm not gonna say the word. The V. The
Yeah, yeah,
you
no,
get
yeah. It's
you put it on your arms.
yeah, it's different. It's different, but I don't think it's gonna be the same in every country. I saw Turkey today said even if you've not been vaccinated, they kind of let you in, and I definitely saw that coming. That some countries will say we don't care, not we don't care, but you don't need a vaccine. In some cases, you say you do need a vaccine. Um, yeah, for me, I just trust. I'm open. It'd be interesting to see what happens as well. That if you're in the UK and you haven't been vaccinated and you go abroad, does that mean you'd be expected to vaccinate when you get back? I don't know. It's just a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But I do generally feel there's going to be plenty of countries to visit that don't expect you to have a vaccine.
Yeah, but they're gonna separate the people like this. They're gonna
Yeah,
be the
yeah,
anti
exactly,
people,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
it's gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna stress a lot of people in that.
It's gonna be juicy. It's gonna be interesting. So yeah.
Yeah, let's see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
And that's it. You just got to enjoy the ride. You just got to follow your purpose, do your thing, and whatever it is you want to do, just get doing it. Don't wait for your world around you to give you permission. Just get on with it.
yeah, but don't you miss traveling? I mean, is it for you possible
I
now?
do. But again, I'm just embracing the experience. I'm just visiting different places around the UK.
Okay.
Just embracing it, and I am. I mean, it's going to feel amazing to travel again, but yeah, it's just new experiences, new experiences.
Mm. But I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna vaccinate. If they gonna put me under pressure, I don't know. Let's see. So
Me neither. Me neither. I'm not having it no matter what. So, but yeah,
I don't. I
again,
don't. Yeah.
I'm open to be wrong. If someone could actually go, here's the actual evidence. I'm always open to being wrong. But I doubt it. I doubt it. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, great. Let's see. But yeah, I really enjoyed this conversation. I think you have other things to do now, but I really enjoyed having this conversation, and I'm sure it will. People who will watch this will, I mean, resonate. Most of them with this, and yeah, it was really great to talk to you, and I hope to see you soon, also personally, like in London or somewhere. If you plan to go again to Greece, like you
Or
did to.
Peru. Or Peru. If I'm in South America, I'll let you know. So we'll
Oh,
see.
that would be great. Yeah, if
Yeah.
because I wanted to go to Peru now, but I don't know if it's possible. Because I have my family there. But
Mm.
yeah, let's see.
Yeah. Cool.
Let's see.
Awesome.
But we'll stay in touch, no?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Cool.
Great. So, Duke, have a wonderful evening. Thanks for taking the time, and speak to you soon.
Cool. Cheers, Adrian.
Thank. Take care. Bye.